another each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Far behind, it's not even funny. Give me a second. I'll be able to catch up real quick. All right, that's done. Now I just need to go to Facebook, and I'm not doing too much on Facebook. So, all right. Oh, it already showed up. Good for it. Doesn't always do that. I'm just going to keep this in the Trudging Together family. Good afternoon. Hello. Hi, Jillian. I'm almost done sharing. I got to do one more. Yep. Yeah, I was bugging Jillian because I didn't see her at the meeting today. And she's like, well, then I'll catch one of your lives. And I said, well, okay, you want a topic you want to hear? And here we are. We're going to talk about relationships and early sobriety, whether those be with family, friends, romantic, romance. I'm just going to keep that one short. Okay. If you're sober, if get into recovery and you're not in a relationship, then no. The answer is just no. Until you complete the steps, you will just all you will do is just continue picking the same type of people that you did before and ruining their lives. The same thing will happen. The key is this, and it hurts. I know. Okay. But you need to become something worth having first. Now, that worth is going to be different to other people. So become who you are, and then go find that person that's going to love you unconditionally. That's how it works. So, all right, I'm still kind of waiting for people to get here. I'm gonna talk about safety in Zoom meetings real quick, right? Because people are getting tired of those fucking bombers. Okay, if you're a co-host, it's not easy to get rid of a bomber. You got to kind of be a step ahead. Okay. And I was in this meeting and people were bitching. I mean, and they were getting mad. I don't blame them. I get mad every now and then. It depends on my mood. Especially if I have to try and remove them. What's worse is if you're talking and it happens to you, then you feel personally offended. Your brain will do that. It will just do that. Okay. So there's a couple of options when it comes to Zoom meetings. Okay. Now, if you want to list your meetings, you are going to get fucking bombers. You're going to. Okay. But when I hear things like, well, we got, we have room for 100 people here. So what? What? I don't understand that. Hey, everybody come to my group. Is this a popularity contest? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? I will fight tooth and nail for grassroots never to be listed. And you watch, that group will get big and it will never be listed. We will get very few bombers. Do you know how many bombers I've had in the meetings that I've been holding on Zoom for, I don't know, 3-4 years now? I can count it on, in fact, I don't even need one hand. I will, zero. I get bombers here and there here. Okay. And I turn them into listeners. They end up staying and listening. So, all right. We've done enough yak, and we're going to get to the topic here. So welcome to Daily Trudge. Hopefully some other people will be able to join. It's Sunday, though. Hit or miss between football and church and meetings and chores. I actually have less people on the weekends, which is actually not unusual. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or rewatch. Okay. Now, I went to Google and I asked, what do you do about relationships and early sobriety? And the reason that I pulled it up was it's going to give us a guide. Okay. It's going to give us a guide. I already got so, but I want to show how relying on Google to get your information for recovery is not always a good idea. Use it to get information to places, but did not utilize the information on Google. Even the principles are listed wrong on Google. Yes, they are. They are listed wrong. Forgiveness is not a principle. That's an action. All right. How to handle relationships in early sobriety. Communicate honestly. Yeah, okay, number one, already wrong. And I asked the same question that we're going. So their first, okay, and this is from New England Recovery Center, recoverycenter.org. Hi, Amber. See, I knew Amber would probably be here sooner or later. And Ingrid will probably show up. So the number one thing that they say how to handle a relationship in early sobriety is incorrect. Communicate honestly. If you date, be open about your recovery with potential partners. You shouldn't be dating. You shouldn't be dating. Okay, not in early sobriety. Maybe their early sobriety and what they consider early sobriety and what we consider early sobriety is different, though. Okay, but this is coming from a treatment center. Okay, when are you in treatment? In your first 30 days. So, see, it doesn't. Is it though? Okay, but I don't think that's really where people are trying to get to. Hi, Chris. Good to see you, dude. Build a robust support system. A strong network of friends and mentors in recovery can offer guidance and understanding in a way that new romantic partners may not be able to. Now, and then 3, take it slow. There's no rush. Now, I didn't say how to handle romantic relationships in early sobriety. I did not ask that. I asked to handle relationships. And they went straight to what? Sex. Just saying. Here's one. Can you be in a relationship during recovery? In early recovery, so professionals recommend wait until they have at least achieved at least 1 year of sobriety before starting a new relationship. There we go. Okay. But see how this isn't why you shouldn't date. This, what are unhealthy relationships in recovery? There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Now I'm going to do Dion's version instead. If you guys have other experiences, if you have other suggestions, we want to hear them because not all my experiences may not work for you. All right. Start with friends. So we're going to go friends, family, romance, because that is how Jillian asked. She wanted me to cover those 3 things. Okay. Jillian picked this topic, by the way, and thank you. I like it when people give me topics. I really do. I would rather you guys give me a topic each day and I cover it. Honestly, that's what I would rather do. Because, see, I can't do the other things. Like TikTok wants me to create these videos like 2 weeks in advance. I can't do that. I live a day at a time and everything is situational. I may come on here and say, we're going to talk about relationships in early sobriety. And then somebody may come on and say, man, fuck this world. And we're going to change the topic. So I can't do things like that. So friends, I'm going to tell you, I just didn't have many friends. Nobody ever begged me to drink. Well, one person, I had one person, but I knew he was an alcoholic too. Okay. And I had lurking notions at the time. I was staying with my mom and my mom was not going to let me drink. No alcohol in the house. Now, when they went on vacation to Thailand, I smoked weed and drank. Even the neighbor knew. I was afraid the neighbor was going to find out. He came over with a bottle. He didn't care either. Anyway, right? Now, when it comes to friends in your recovery, you're going to have to create strong boundaries. And that's going to be very, very hard to do in early recovery because you don't even know who you are yet. So how can you create a boundary? Okay. So there's unsaid rules in AA. We call them suggestions. Follow those. Okay. Your friends will separate themselves. They will. Right. Now, you're gonna hear things like, well, if they don't support you, they're not friends. Well, maybe they're spiritually sick. Maybe they don't know how to have a friendship like Dion didn't. I'm still new to friends. I've had one best friend in my life, and I doubt he even thought that I was his best friend. That was probably just me. I'm not kidding. Even my wife's like, well, I'm your best friend. I'm like, no, you're my wife. You get best friend and then wife status, man. It's better than. Okay. So for me, I don't have a best friend. I would have to say my best friend's probably God. Yeah. Um, it's hard to get close to me. I seem like a very open person. No, I'm just telling you, I'm just talking about my experience, but that doesn't really mean that you know me. You know, how people see me and how I actually am are two entirely different things. Okay. Because for me, I'm in my brain, I'm all fucked up, right? Just like everybody else. But I'll go to meetings and people will hype me up. And, but sometimes it's too much. It's it. I don't know how to describe it. I was in a meeting last night and every single person in there kind of said because Dion did this. And yes, I am proud of me for doing it. I like to create safe spaces for people in this program because there's a lot of fucking assholes in it right now. That's why I did that. I'm tired of going to meetings and hearing, you know, I'm Dion and I'm a drug addict and alcoholic. No, you're in AA and you're an alcoholic here. Let's stick with our arena. I don't care that you're an addict. That's great that you're getting over that. But it doesn't belong in that fucking arena, guys. It just doesn't. Now, if the topic is, hey, I did some cocaine and it's going to lead me to drinking, now it's on the table. Now it's an alcoholic problem. Okay. But it's hard, because we want to be all inclusive. But I'm going to tell you, when we're all inclusive and everybody gets everything, nobody gets anything. I'll just say two words: toilet paper. And you know what I'm saying. So if you put the blinders on in your first year, okay, I know a year, when you're younger, a year seems like a long time. But once you hit 40, it ain't that long anymore. Then you're like, a year out of all of this really is nothing. So put those blinders on. Put them on. Okay. Now it isn't, it's, I'm going to have to just say some religion-y things and you can take it how you want, put it into your own words. Okay. Let's remember that not everybody is taking their gifts from God. Some people think that they are getting gifts from God, but it is not God. It is the devil. It is the devil, man. And they will, and if you are trying to do better, and the more you do in this world to make it better, the more you will be spiritually attacked. I guarantee it, and you will fucking feel it. And one day you just be like, nothing is happening, but I feel attacked. And then you'll go pray and you'll be like, God's got my back. Okay. What are some other boundaries? I don't drink. And if you can't respect that, fuck off. That's it. That's the boundary. I do not drink. You see what happens to me when I drink. Okay. Do you want me to lose my kids? Do you want me to lose my life? Do you want me to lose all of this because you want me to have a fucking drink with you? See? I'm at a point where if you don't love me for who I am, then you can just go away. But it was hard to get there. So what did I do? Well, you got to do, what is it? First of all, it's low self-esteem. We get lonely. We talked about the last topic this morning, that sometimes we get so lonely we will go back to our abusers. Because loneliness, man, it's the worst fucking feeling in the world. For me it is. Okay, now that my anger's gone, mostly. I ask my grandkids today, I'm like, have you guys ever heard me yell? They're like, nope. I'm like, good. Okay, I'm doing it. Because I don't know if I have or not. They're a little bit older now, and and actually, this is what they said: no, like, and we don't want to, and they won't. And I told him the only time I will yell at you is if you're about to do something you're not supposed to and it's going to hurt you. That is the only time I'll yell at you. I told him you can come to me about anything, even if you're wrong. I will have your back. I'm your grandpa. We will discuss what we did wrong and we'll work through it. But aren't we trying to get to the right thing? And they're like, yeah, we are. Okay. We talked about bullies like 2 months ago, right? And they switched schools and stuff. They're doing better. All right. But, my grandkids are like me. But they see the world for what it is, man. Okay. So with friends, you got to be cut and dry. And it's going to be worse for family. Okay. You got to be cut and dry. Hey, this alcohol's killing me, man. If I keep drinking, I'm going to lose everything. And then me and my kids are moving in with you. Okay. Make it so horrendously bad, they don't want to fucking ask you again. There's some people that are, if somebody kept with me, I would just plain say, hey, if I drink, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Because I want to right now. That will end it. And you're not going to own amend for that. No, that is a boundary. That is a boundary. And I tell you now, even people in AA do not like boundaries. Okay? Because we're a bunch of fucking bullies, people. Come on. And if we don't get out of that, then we will continue that. And yes, you will have people in your life that will try and gaslight you and do all this. You will. Okay? So when it comes to friends, have that hard, fast rule. In your first year of sobriety, if you tell me, oh yeah, I'm the designated driver for my friends, my next question is going to be, why are you not 12th stepping? No, that's codependency. Now, if you do it before, now if it's like every now and again, it's something different. But if you're doing it all the time and you're hanging out with your friends, the saying is, if you hang out in the barbershop for too long, you will get your hair cut. You hang out in the bar for too long with the wrong intentions and you will get drunk. You will get drunk. There are other things that lead to this. I know we want to have fun. Mocktails. I get why people want it, but in my brain, and this is for me only, when I drink a V8, my brain still wonders where the vodka is. So I'm going to walk into a sober bar. Well, my brain doesn't connect that shit. Okay? If you don't have a reason to be there, you don't go. And here it is. Okay? What is it about friends? We don't want to miss out on the fun. Me either. When I was a kid, I always thought I was missing out. I found something out. When I do God's work, I don't miss out on anything. I don't miss out on anything. They're, because I'll be like, oh man, I want to go to that. But the result ended up horrendous. Did you ever think that sometimes you get a red light because God's trying to stop you from being in an accident? It happens. When you do God's work, these are the things. What is the other thing that's going to happen with friends? Oh, you're too good for us now. Oh, you're too good for us. Okay, if that's what you think, then I guess I'm too good for you. I'm not going to even argue that. I'm not even going to argue that. What I'm going to say is, hey, when you're ready to get sober, let me know. I'll be here. I know you don't like me. I don't care. It means nothing to me. Okay? All right. That's friends. Let's do romance next. Let's do romance next. Because family is going to be... okay? Because there's a lot of different moving parts in a family, right? I always think that about red lights or delays. Yeah. God is doing something. God gives you a green light. He's doing something. It's all intentional. Your whole day and your inconveniences are intentional because God needs you somewhere at a certain time. Okay? You're the messenger. You're the messenger of the most powerful thing in this world. And he chose you to save his children. Would you pick anybody to save your children? No, you fucking would not. So just think about how much thought and unconditional love he or she, it, they, whatever, put into it for you, just for you, out of the billions of people in this world. Yeah, cool shit. Romance. Be fucking honest. Okay. Wait, we already covered the year. Now, it may be 6 months and you get through it and you're a different person, right? When we say a year, it's flexible. Okay. Now, yeah, that's when I practice my patience, but that's what it is. So, you know what I do? Thank God first and then thank Him after for even letting you, allowing to be able to do that. It is hard. It will be one because we're lonely people, but I'm driving them off and that's mean. No, that's a boundary. Okay. This morning I sent my daughter a text, and I'm not going to go into the whole story or what it was, just a little bit of miscommunication is what it came down to. And I said, I feel like I'm being used when you do that. And she said, I'm not using you. I'm like, okay, we need to get on the phone because it's not what I said. Right. But, and I tell you now, anytime I text, I just sound like a dick. Okay. I don't like talking about emotions over text. So I called her and I said, honey, I need you to hear my voice. As soon as she heard, she knew I wasn't mad. I'm just trying to figure it out because this is a little new and we got to ask questions. Okay. I'm also the person that means, okay, I saw little problems in this. So if we tweak this and tweak that, the next time we won't have to deal with all that. And that's why I bring this stuff up. It's prevention. It's prevention. So, right. Yeah. Thanks, Julia. I am funny every now and then. I know you see when you do this, okay, and I make a joke, you want to know why I laugh like I do? Because I'm laughing for you. Because I know you're laughing, but if my brain doesn't hear it, it won't move on. Yes. And with this voice, do you know how many times I have heard here? I'm doing it right now. But see, now I just sound sarcastic. But I lowered my damn voice, but I still sound mad, don't I? I don't know how many times. John, it's not what you said. It was how you said it. And for a long time, I thought, that's not my fucking problem. That's not my fucking problem. And is it? No. Do I want to be more approachable? Yes. Well, then, then maybe I need to change it. So, yeah, when it comes to feelings and working these things out, I don't think text is the way to go. I feel like the only time we're communicating is if this is moving, right? Now, this is also communication because I'm running my mouth and you're replying. It is text, but it isn't being misconstrued. There are sometimes people do say something here, and I'm like, what is that? And I ask because I know that my brain is taking it the wrong fucking way. I know that. Okay. All right. So we got to be honest. Okay. I have a young guy in a young man in recovery, and we went through this. You know, in the beginning, he's like, you know, because he was lonely. So you know what I did? I kept him fucking busy. I kept him busy with a shit ton of service work. I mean, even when I went to go talk at Adams County, he showed up. He kept himself busy. Then he became the person that he was supposed to be. And now he has a really cool girlfriend in his life. Now I just say, are you staying consistent with your meetings? Yeah, I am. Okay. That's all I need to know. See? I'm not going to give him a hard time. Now, he was honest about everything that he does. I go to meetings every day. I have to do this. And I'm sorry, but it will come before you or you don't get me. Okay? Now, if you tell somebody that and they don't want that in their life, then guess what you did? You just made everybody's life better, including that person. Because if you weren't honest, then all of a sudden, right? Let's say I'm a single dad, right? And I got kids. I go on a date. I got to be honest about that, don't I? Well, there's no point in wasting people's time You know, it's like sending somebody a picture, showing up and not being that person. Okay? It's so easy to hide who you actually are. It is also scary to be your authentic self. Okay? Watch trans people. They're trying to be their authentic self, and it can be scary for them. Yes, it can. See, I got that. That's where my privilege comes in. I'm a white male. Okay. Now, my disadvantage in that is if I go into a room and talk about my feelings, half those people are going to leave. Okay. So there's always something. But honesty's got to be the number one thing. Are we honest when we get into AA? No, we're not. So you've got to learn how to be honest before you can even do a relationship. Well, how about the relationship with you? What if, and just what if, we formed our relationship with our higher power and then set our own relationships upon that standard? Yeah, it's called perfection, and we're striving towards it. Okay. You need somebody that you can, like, my wife and I, we never argue, but we debate often. We question each other. We do. We question each other all the time. Okay. It's just part of how we get shit done. It is a part of how we get things done. Okay. Now, let's say that you're married when you come in. Now, this is going to be a little different, or you're in a relationship. You don't even necessarily need to be married. Okay. Maybe you've been in, but you can still continue on with that. We're not going to say, oh, you need to break up with them and da 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 da. Now, this is more situational. Okay. Because I can tell you now, and I've watched this for a very long time. Okay. Number one, the spouse needs to go to Al-Anon or something. Couples treatment, something to help them understand. Okay. A lot of us use treatment because a lot of our spouses don't want to go to Al-Anon, and they are not required to. Okay. That's why I tried to set up that meeting so we had AA and Al-Anon so everybody could just come and we had it covered. Because sometimes it's easier. And I can speak from my own experience. Sometimes it was easier for me to go to an AA meeting because my wife was going with me and she was in Al-Anon, and it helped me go to more meetings and that support. Now, if that person doesn't get any and you grow, it's over. You're not the same people anymore. Yeah. But the divorce rate in AA is not very high. Not compared to the rest of the world. When you have two healed people, right? And she won't mind, because some of you have met her. My friend Michelle. Man. Oh, meow. The window's open, whiny butt. So let's get on to family. Let's get on to family. Would you just get sober? We want you to get sober. Please get sober. Sober. Oh, you're sober? Oh, we don't want that because now we don't got nobody to pick on. Which do you fucking want? See, my family didn't want me around when I was drinking, and they didn't want me around while I'm healed. Because, see, they're stuck in that in-between place. Okay? I have 8 brothers and sisters. I talked to one, and even then I wonder. If she really would. Is she just being a part of my life because she feels required to and making mom happy? Because that's how it feels. Okay? I won't even tell you how many aunts and uncles I have, but it's well over 20. I talked to one aunt. Okay? You can imagine how many cousins I have. 200 or so. I grew up Mormon. Ah, Jillian. That's kind of, in fact, Jillian, you and I are probably related. There's a good chance you and I are related. But when I got sober, they didn't want nothing to fucking do with me anymore. Still. They still say things like, well, aren't you on the water wagon? And I'm like, no, I'm 8 years sober, man. There's no water wagon involved. The Coke wagon, yeah, Coca-Cola. There's my higher power. But it's hard because, right, like kids' birthdays. Oh, these people can't buy because these people don't get along. I don't understand, and I've worked it this way for a very, very long time. Even while I was drinking, I would tell my kids, I said, hey, I am not getting along with your grandmother right now. I'm letting you know. But that doesn't mean you can't talk to her. That doesn't change your relationship with her, so you know. The rest of my family won't do that. A lot of people won't do that. But I do. You bet. And my grandkids are seeing it. They see it. Oh, yeah. Especially those little girls. Oh, they see it. Right? Because I want them to know that it's okay to put aside your own feelings to help somebody else out so that somebody can have something. Right? Are we at the birthday party because we are supporting the person having the birthday? Or do we have other intentions? See? All right? There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. Okay? Let's get back to that. So now let's say I have somebody in AA, right? And their wife decides to go to Al-Anon. Or the husband or significant. Let's just go with partner or significant other on that. Sometimes I do that to appease so I don't have to do all these other pronouns. So I'll just cover the whole thing. Because I do want people to feel included. But I am not an all-inclusive. No. Not. Sorry. I'm not God. I'm not Alpha Omega. Okay. I'm like a part of the A in Alpha, and that's about it. Right. I have my experience and I use my experience to help others. Boundary, and I'm like I said, this is broad. When it comes to family, it's probably gonna take longer. Okay. This is where time actually has something to do with your recovery. Hold on. Back scratch off. Back scratch off. All right. So it may take a little more time, right? One of my older brothers flatly said, Dion, I don't want to do your 9th step. Okay. Not up to me. Okay. Now he has a master's in clinical psychology. A master's in clinical psychology. So he doesn't understand that sitting down, working this stuff out heals. Does he not want to get closer to God? Because, gosh, he's Catholic and very much shows it. And yeah, he's a seat warmer. He's a seat warmer. Okay? But he's also a child of God with a spiritual malady. That I can work with, can I not? That's where you got to get to. That's where you got to get to. And just like the friends, okay? If you cannot love me for who I am, then I want to be around you. Okay? Because for me, blood doesn't make family. If that was true, I wouldn't need you. Would I? See, a lot of our families don't want us around. And they don't want us around. They want us around. I'm going to tell you this. They want us around drunk. They say that they want us to get sober, but no, they don't. Because if you get sober, they may have to face their own shit. And they don't want that. But they want to pick on you so that they feel better about themselves. It's called the dysfunctional family, and everybody's got a place. And I only need to talk to you for about 5 minutes, and I will know which one you were. Okay? You were either the black sheep or the clown, or both. Or both. You may be even a little bit lost child, but no, you're one of those two if you're an alcoholic. Yeah. The hero very rarely is the alcoholic. This is usually the person that goes on and will open a treatment center because their mother or father or grandfather or grandmother affected their lives so much and they cared about them that much that they died of alcoholism and they don't want it to happen to other people. That would be a healed hero child. Yeah. So we've missed. I actually missed one thing with the Al-Anon, and there's Alateen. The unfortunate part, and we do need Alateen. Alateen is our biggest prevention. The unfortunate part is this: the government has stepped into Alateen. That's why there's not any. There's only 3 Alateen meetings in Colorado every week. 3 meetings a week. Alateen, our best prevention. And I'll just give you the quick lowdown. You have to be certified to run an Alateen meeting, and you're in AA. You cannot run an Alateen meeting, so you got to be an Al-Anon. But if one of your parents was an alcoholic, you're an Al-Anon. You may not go, but you are an Al-Anon. So when I called Al-Anon, and they're like, "No, you're an AA. You can't do that." I said, "No, I've got a mother that's in recovery. That makes me an Al-Anon, does it not?" Well, yeah, it does. See, I know your traditions too, because they're based off mine. So don't. So this is what happened. It was unsafe, and I'm just going to use that word so that we don't get into it. But as alcoholics, you know what I'm saying. Okay. So yeah, somebody had to fucking do something. So why did Al-Anon not do something about it? See, we're about prevention, all that other stuff. And here's the thing. They want you to take a background check. Very, very intrusive. And this isn't your go to a job and have a background check done. No. This is one that takes 24 hours, the same background check you get when you leave jail. If you had to go do jail time, okay, they ran a report and it's the worst 24 hours in the world. I understand why they're not willing to do that. I understand that. So keep your prayers with Alateen, man. Because if Alateen goes, you start kissing the rest of the 12 steps goodbye too. The rest of them. Because the government will just interfere. They'll say you can't do that. That's unsafe. Right? Because the government's so great at creating safe spaces. They're so great at it. Right? I just wanted to bring that up. But Alateen, very much. Okay. So if you have kids, send them to Al-Anon, man. And when they're like, oh, they shouldn't be here. If you get flack for that, then you say, then you need to start an Alateen meeting. You need to start that. Start bugging Al-Anon. The sister that I talked to, she's an Al-Anon, so is her husband. I bug them quite often. Next time I see them, I say, what did you guys do that you screwed this up so bad? You've been in the program 20 years. What happened? So back to family, right? So I was talking about some of those family members that don't really want you to get sober. They will say it because that's the pain. That's the pain, right? So, what are you going to do? Well, I just told you the amount of family members I talked to. None. No. So, if that is the case, here's a suggestion. Focus on your kids. Focus on your spouse. Break the generational curse. Break the fucking generational curse. Okay? Is alcoholism the generational curse? No, that's not what I'm talking about. If you're born an alcoholic, you don't have a choice. There's nothing you and I can do about it. Kinda. So make your kids aware. Okay? The one thing you don't want to do, and this is from experience for me anyway, I shouldn't tell you that you shouldn't do it. Never, ever, 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 ever tell your children they're alcoholic or drug addicts. Just don't. I'll give a fuck. It could be approached so much better than that. because they're like, you're an alcoholic. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm 13. I'm an alcoholic? What are you talking about? Because it's just all from there, it's just name calling. Why do you think Alateen is so important? It wasn't my mother that convinced me that I had a problem. It was Alateen. It was my peers. Yeah, absolutely, CJ. Absolutely. And it's good to see you. They even say they don't believe you to keep the attention off them. Yeah. My mother-in-law does not believe that I'm sober. She doesn't believe it. I don't talk to her. Last time I saw her, I kicked her out of my fucking house. Like, you don't talk to me like that in my house. Get out. And yeah, my wife wasn't there. Yeah, that stuff will happen. And so when that happens, because I'm going to tell you something, it hurts. It fucking hurts, man. It doesn't, for me, it probably will never, ever matter how long I've been in this program. Sure, it fucking hurts. Here's the question that I got to ask myself, though. What am I going to do about it? Well, when it comes to family, a lot of times it's nothing. I'm not going to do anything about it. Why? Because when it comes to family, what they want to do is push buttons. And when they're pushing buttons and you're like, I'm sorry, that button's broken, dude. It don't work no more. And they don't get anything out of you. Well, now their joy is gone and they're going to go find someone else. Yeah, period. And it doesn't matter whether it's family or not, right? Yeah. Now, and that's a broad sense, because like if I know this, if CJ's friend had a slip and came to her house for help, that would be much different. But we were talking about family and stuff, right? Because certainly we would. Now, even if a family member, I know I'm drunk, but I need some fucking help. Okay, well, you're not coming in my house. My kids are home, but I'm going to take you to detox. I can help you there. Okay. Another thing when it comes to family and recovery, if you have another family member, support, but otherwise stay the fuck out of it. Stay out of it. For me, let's say my daughter decided to start attending AA. I would not ask her to come to my meetings. No. She wouldn't get what she needed if dad's sitting there. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to her. No, I'm going to go find meetings for her until she gets what she needs. And then we can go to meetings together. But otherwise, that would be a distraction. Maybe she doesn't want to say something in that meeting because dad is there. And she doesn't want it used against her. Even if dad's a great guy or whatever, it doesn't matter. Hey, it's got to be for her. If you are too emotionally involved, you got to get the fuck out. You got to get out of that problem because, no, because we are no longer problem people. We are people living in the solution. And even from early sobriety, okay, and this is what I'll call it. Once you get that first good night's sleep, that's about when things are usually happening. Okay. I'll go into a little bit on the medical side of that. Okay. When you drink, like we do, you don't dream. And if you don't dream, you don't REM. You don't REM, you go cuckoo. Yeah, you got a good night's sleep, woke up, and half your problems were gone. What happens to people that don't sleep? They see things that aren't there. Okay. I'm going to give you another. This is the same thing. Anxiety. Have you ever been looking for something that was right in front of you? Right in front of you. Okay. But let's say, these are my keys. Can't find my keys. Can't find my keys. Can't find my keys. You're right. You can't find your keys. You probably looked right at it. Your brain blocked it out. You couldn't see it because you told yourself you couldn't see it. What is that? That's denial. It's denial. but we're creating the denial. So see how we created our own problems just by not getting sleep. It's a form it starts dementia, and you do too much. You know what happens? You will get what's called a wet brain, and then all those things that you're hearing and seeing will be permanent for the rest of your fucking life. And you will be in an insane asylum and you won't be able to drink. But it's all that your brain will probably ever fucking think about. See? These are the roads. These are the roads. And you should be put in an insane asylum or you'll kill people. Yeah, we're that dangerous. Right? So, hi, Patricia. So I think a lot of this comes down to having strong boundaries. And the way that I worked on my boundaries was therapy. I saw a therapist. And then we started working on my self-esteem because I've never had high self-esteem. Okay. I don't have high self-esteem now, but I do not have low self-esteem either. Mm-mm. No, I don't. You want to know how I fixed those? I did esteemable things. See, self-esteem has nothing to do with me. It does, but it doesn't. What is esteemable things? Helping others without any expectation of return. And if people aren't doing that, they don't have good self-esteem. It's the only way to get it. You get self-esteem by doing esteemable things. Now it makes sense, right? Now you're out there, instead of causing confusion and running and gunning and ride or die, you know, I'd die for my kids. Yeah, but would you get well? Because that dying's easy. Dying's the easy part. Are you willing to change for your kids? Okay. So you can get sober for any reason you want. Okay. On everything that we've been talking about, this whole thing with different types of people, friends, family, romance, what are we working with? Because they all have one thing in common, a spiritual malady. And everybody's got one. Everybody, I haven't met anybody that doesn't have a spiritual malady. The time the spiritual malady leaves, I'm dead. It's over. That's when I become perfect. You think I'm not going to reach perfection? You bet I am. It'll be the day I die. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Okay. So, because I'm trying to get you to think about it a little different way, I'm kind of doing EMDR on you. Yeah, I'll just because I'm trying to make you think. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, but there may be something beyond this, and it's called PTSD. But for us, it's not PTSD; it's CPTSD. Okay, that means that PTSD is you saw a moment in time, like maybe somebody was shot right in front of you. Okay, CPTSD is trauma that happens for a while, like every day for a while, and that's the difference. Okay, now what happens with PTSD is I think in PTSD, what my brain does, it thinks it's happening right now. Okay. Well, then what happens is I go into survival mode. And it becomes very confusing for somebody that is spiritual because you want to say, I love you, but it comes out, fuck off. That's what happens. Surprised nobody asked earlier, honestly. Too much flipping people off. No. I had to stop a cat fight. And if I didn't grab that cat right then, it was very situational because they would have been in another room and I wouldn't have been able to get to them. And I had to grab them immediately, but I didn't want to hurt them. So I grabbed him by the scruff and it jacked up I jammed my finger. So no real adventurous story there. All right. No real adventure on that one. But yeah, so in PTSD, I think my thought is going on right now. And if that is what's happening to you and you can't move it over to the memory, I would highly recommend you get a therapist. I highly recommend it. It was therapy, EMDR, and a shit ton of hard work. Okay. Do I still have PTSD? Yeah. But you hardly ever see it, huh? It's because I did some things. Okay. In order to have strong boundaries, you have to know yourself very well. You have to ask yourself hard questions. And you must be responsible for three things. And I'm going to wrap up. I realize it had been 50 minutes. You're going to need three things. You're going to be responsible for these three things. And if you aren't, you will not be able to create a strong boundary. Number one, you'll be responsible for your actions. I know people did shit. Okay. Now, it is not your fault that you're an alcoholic. You were born that way. It's not your fault, but it is your problem and therefore your responsibility. Okay. I have to be responsible for my emotions. Yeah. Because when I react, then I'm just back at the first one, aren't I? So I got to be responsible for my own emotions. That's what I was kind of describing to my daughter this morning. I said, I feel I'm being used. I didn't say you were using me, right? And so I'm teaching her feel statements. Yeah, I went to go try and get help. The first place I went to said, I'm sorry, we don't have any doctors here today. We're just doing virtual and sending people to the hospital. I said, why are you even open? I went to the next one. I'm like, hey, I need help with this. And she's asking me questions. She's like, well, we don't have, scanning and imaging here. I'm like, well, oh, yes, I know that. It's a sprained finger. I don't need imaging. But, they want their imaging because right? I'm like, well, I don't have insurance. She's like, well, it's going to be $300. And I said, no. But there was this guy, and I even said, hey, do you have any other suggestions? I'm talking to a darn nurse. No. Okay. So this other guy, he was in there. He came and told me what to do. And it worked. I went and sought help. I got it. But you see how God worked? First place he went to, he's like, Dion, this is the wrong place. The guy needs you to talk to is in a waiting room over there. Okay. He stopped me from seeing a doctor by putting the $300 charge in front of my way. And then he gave me the answer. See how there was some self-will in there that ended up to the right answer? That's what you got to do. Then I had to go on a Saturday morning to Walmart. Fuck. And then the lanes were cut down. And even then, yeah. And that's, yeah. We're, yeah. Yeah. That's all I could say on that because I want to go off. It's wrong. It's wrong. Yeah. So, I'm not, and this is as far as political as I will get. I don't think our government gives a fuck about its people at all. I don't. I don't vote based on whether you're Republican, Democrat. I don't do any of that. So I just want what's right, And thank you for being a nurse. What a hard job, and what a satisfying job too. We alcoholics that do finally get this, we go on to do some pretty cool things, man. There's nothing better than watching a person, a little bit younger, 30 or so, reclaim their fucking life. I love it. It's the best thing in the world. It really is. All right. Well, that number's been going up to 4, 5, 6, and things like that. So, I do vote. But only so that I can bitch. Because saying here is if you don't vote, you ain't got a say. And I believe that. It's like if you didn't put any action into trying to make a change or anything, then really your opinion is just bullshit. So I vote so I can bitch. That's what I said. I think voting is important. I really do. So, but all right. Thank you everybody for being here. Jillian, thank you for the suggested topic. If anybody, I believe that. Yeah, Patricia's always on duty. Yeah, and that's an alcoholic life for you, right? We're always on. I love it. They're like, yeah, it's Mental Health Day. I'm like, that's every day. It's not okay. Recovery month, all these things. Don't buy into that shit. Don't buy into that. Recovery is every day. Okay, if we're gonna put aside a month for the recovery, we got a problem. Oh, it's awareness. No, I do that every day. We got to create awareness every day. I'm not going to wait for your day. All right. That's silly. Okay. So don't buy into any of that. All that is a money making machine, is government bullshit. That's right. Face red, heart shaped. I love you too. All right. I really have to pee. That's how all these end anymore, huh? I got to go because I'm 54 and all right. Thank you everybody for being here. Oh, well, I want to say real quick before I go, um, if there's a topic you want to hear, maybe you're confused on something, whatever, send it to me and I'll go live and we'll talk about it. All right. And if you're like, and if you don't want other people to know that you brought up the topic, then you're going to need to tell me because otherwise I'm going to brag on you. Okay. I am bragging on Jillian and she'll come back more often because she feels a part of it. That's what I do here. I do a lot of the little things because I want you to feel a part of, because I know how it feels to not be a part of. I want you to be happy with what you have because what you have is beautiful. And I know it. I just know it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. Peace out.